Hey everybody, here's another clip from one of my recent guitar Q&A live streams. A viewer asked what I wish I knew as a beginning guitar player. It's a great question and I had fun answering it. Check it out. Delta 4 1212 asks a great question. What did you wish you had known when learning the guitar as a beginner? I wish I knew how easy finger picking was. Long story short, but the first time I ever tried a finger picking pattern, it was slow, mechanical, not satisfying. It didn't sound like what I thought finger picking should sound like, so I stopped. And it was years before I did it again. I'm going to use landslide as an example. Technically, landslide is capoed up at the 3rd fret. I'm going to keep it simple. The first chord of landslide is a C chord, so I'm going to illustrate this in a C chord. What most guitar teachers call the landslide pattern is a 7-note pattern, which is really 4 notes that you repeat, but you just don't do the 4th note. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3. Okay, so the landslide pattern, for example, oh my God. This is not the pattern that I gave up on after about 30 seconds, but it might as well have been. I wish I'd known as a beginner guitar player that you just stick with something and you do it mechanically and you sound like that for a couple of days or whatever. And before long, you realize, hopefully, to keep your picking hand loose and relaxed, just lighten up, play softly, repeat the pattern, be patient with yourself. I'm not saying it only takes 5 minutes, but it does not take as long as it took me. Well, because I gave up on it for a few years. Okay, so that's one example right there. By the way, lots of times, I try every time to put in the description of the live stream examples of stuff I play. Like I put the tab. So the tab for what I just played, I'll put that in the live stream. But for the record, C chord, right? We're only going to do 7 things, and the final 3 things are a repeat of the first 3 things. Got all that? Okay. Ready for landslide? Okay. Thumb on the 5th string. Index finger on the 3rd string. Thumb on the 4th string. Middle on the 2nd string. Thumb, index, thumb, middle. Now repeat the first 3 things. Thumb on the 5th string. Index on the 3rd, thumb on the 4th, and you're done. I mean, young Jonathan, you know. Okay, so that's one thing. Here's another big one. So embarrassing, but I will tell you guys, so embarrassing. I thought every song had regular chords, C, A minor, D, G. So when I heard anything that where those chords are not clearly strummed, I had no idea. I would kill myself trying to figure out what chords that was. I would get so frustrated. What is that? Now remember, I'm doing this without any look at the person's fingers. I'm doing this, I'm listening to a cassette tape, you know, an LP record, whatever. Killing myself to find out what chord that was. So embarrassing, you know? Okay, another thing I wish I'd known. I wish I'd known how often a songwriter will write a song where there's a chord. I'm going to illustrate this with a C chord. And the second chord is still a C chord minus 1 finger. I'm going to take off my index finger. I'm going to put my index finger back. Take my index finger off. Okay, I didn't know that was a thing. Okay, so I wish to answer your question about what I wish I knew how often that was a thing, or that even was a thing, that a guitar player could just like play a chord and maybe just add the pinky. Maybe the pinky's not doing anything, so just add a pinky. Oh, here's a funny one. I never knew what a power chord was. Yeah. So now these are more sort of like embarrassing stories, but you know, a power chord, come on folks, you know. Now, to be fair, the music that I was really into was not based on power chords. So I didn't have a pressing reason to learn power chords. But hey, don't be like me. Let's learn a power chord. I'm going to show you a G power chord, 6th string, 3rd fret with my index finger. Got to be your index finger, first finger. 5th string, 5th fret. I encourage you to use your ring finger, but you could use your pinky. I mean, if it's tough, no matter what you use, bring your thumb along for the ride. My thumb is pointing straight up to the ceiling, and my thumb is kind of in between the 3rd and 4th frets. Can we take? Okay, that is a basic power chord. So it's not that I wish I knew how to play power chords at a younger age. I wish I knew that that was a thing, that some of my favorite songs were based on power chords. If only just for my general knowledge, or even songs I didn't like. It's still nice to know that's power chord. Okay, power chords, you know. Okay, here's one thing that I wish I'd known from day one that I discovered by accident. The whole boom-chicka concept. I'm going to illustrate this with a G chord. At its most basic level, I'm strumming, in this case, the fat 6th string, my G major chord, and I'm answering back, so to speak, on the skinny treble strings. How many skinny treble strings? I don't know, 3 or 4, doesn't matter. Okay, now I wish I'd known from day one that that was an extremely common approach to rhythm guitar, you know. Instead, I would sort of bash away at every chord, just hitting as many strings as were, you know, legal, so to speak, you know. I would see people doing that thing, the boom-chicka concept, without knowing what they're doing. Part of it, I'm going to show off for a second, part of it is how fast they were going. So I'd see someone like at an open mic night, and they're going like a... And I mean, they might as well have been playing the tuba. I had no idea what they were doing. Literally, and stop me if I've told you this before, I was busking in the subway in Chicago. I couldn't tell you which subway station. I could take a guess, but I was busking in the subway station in Chicago as a very young adult. And by mistake, practically, my pick hit a fat string. Let's say I was on a G chord. And the second thing I did was strum the, and I thought, oh, you're kidding me. That's that sound I've been hearing. I know. So I wish someone had told me that that was not only an acceptable way to strum a song as a strum pattern, quote, quote, but that it was a really important concept to learn, and that there's tons of songs where that's the important skill you need. Oh, so going back to trial and error, that's a phrase I keep bringing up. Trial and error is a valid way of learning stuff, right? Many of you are adults. On paper, you're an adult, right? Your neighbors think you're an adult. So you've learned a lot in your life by trial and error. Great way to learn. Chances are you never forget the things you learn in life that you learn by trial and error. It's the slowest way to learn for most of us, you know? So yeah, so trial and error, it's the slowest way to learn. It works when you finally get there. But anything I can do to, to help you not have to learn every darn thing by trial and error, that's part of why I'm here. Thanks for watching, you guys. For more guitar tips, tune into my live stream Saturdays, 5 p.m. Eastern, right here on my YouTube channel, or watch the rebroadcast anytime.